We were just remarking, I mean, did that feel like a game y'all led for 37 minutes and 10 seconds? 'Cause it was very much kind of a bend, don't break. You guys kind of kept in control despite letting up maybe a bit here and there.
Honestly, it felt like just like a really fun game. Like at times, even when they came back, it just felt like we had the game under control. And those games are like really fun to play in because you never feel like tension or you're like, oh, okay, they're coming back. But yeah, it was just really fun. I feel like a lot of people contributed, and that's always fun.
I agree. Whenever they punched, we punched back.
What was the message? So they kind of said it was about the entire third quarter they needed to kind of climb back to within one. And there was that timeout. You guys came out of the gate with a 21-6 run after that. What was the message during that timeout?
Coach Moggs, she's just a really calm person. She always tells us to like mirror her on the court. So whenever she comes into our timeouts and she just tells us she's really focused and confident, tells us what to do and tells us to be confident and make a punch defensively. And I feel like as a team when we lock in defensively, it's hard to play against us. That's how we make our runs. Even when we're shooting the ball good, when we play good defense, like we can stick with anybody.
Yeah, we kind of all had each other's back too. We're like, hey, Ma, you got this. Like, shoot your shot. She did. Look at her.
You held TT to, oh gosh, you're 13 points, 5 of 18. What was the game plan going in to stop her?
We knew that she was like their go-to player, so Bryce had to put lock-up D on her and everybody else, so we kind of all just contributed to that for sure.
Yeah, the message was really just like to help Bryson be in our gaps a lot because whenever we all play in gaps and play off each other, it's really hard. It's really hard for anyone, like I said, to score, and it just helps each other out. It makes the job a little easier for Bryce or whoever has to guard her or their top players.
You guys have both used the word contribution. You both end up in double digits along with 3 more and some 20 points from a few other players. Just how great was it that, kind of the whole team was contributing, as you guys say, in the scoring?
It was great. Like, there's never one game that one person's on. Everyone just contributes what they need to, and that's kind of what makes us unstoppable, honestly, in my opinion.
I think, especially in the beginning of the season, we would have times where like there'd be one person maybe that would like have a breakout game, and I feel like now it's just kind of starting to be even across the boards, which is really how you want to play. It makes you like a really dangerous team, especially going to March. And that's what Mock said. She wants us. We should be playing our best basketball in February, and I just feel like right now. After the SIU game, we've just been on an uphill, which is really good.
You mentioned that. I mean, now you took care of business against Bradley. You get the win today, and Bradley falls again today to SIU, put you guys once again alone on the top. Just how much have things changed for you guys since that SIU loss? You guys have gotten yourselves back on track.
I think it was a wake-up call for us. Really like a maturity thing. I think that was the problem at times. We were always ready to play against the teams that were ranked or had a big name, and sometimes you overlook teams like that when you shouldn't. And I think now it was just a slap in the face to be like, okay, look, like this is our goal. Like we need to be playing at this level every single time we step on the court for what our ultimate goal is, which is to make a run in the tournament. So.
Yeah, Mox always says, doesn't matter whose name's on the front of the jersey, we need to play everyone like the same intensity. So we've definitely done that past couple weeks.
Yeah, her motto is
SIU.
humble and hungry too.
Yeah,
so.
stay hungry. Yeah.
So this game completes the first. You've seen everybody in the Valley now. You'll see them all one more time before we head off to the tournament. What do you expect in this last stretch of the season here?
I feel like everyone's gonna give us their best shot. It's the last round of everybody before the tournament, so I think everyone's gonna come out ready to beat us.
Yeah, I think it's nothing new because I feel like coming into conference is how it was too. I think we'll be way more prepared this time around though, especially when you play a team a second time. You already know kind of what their game plan is. You've played against them. You kind of know how the feel of the game is. So I think that'll be really good for us. It's kind of like you already have the steady guide, so you just need to execute.
All right, well, that was another fun one, especially in the second half. Illinois State just came out and they really played physical with us, and they fought pretty hard. That's a good team there. I thought some calls didn't go our way, so we had a lot of adversity. And then there was a lot of stoppage in the game in the first half, or really third quarter. We couldn't get into a flow. But I just like how we just continue to push forward. We were intent. Our intensity went up and down a little bit, but we stayed intense throughout pretty much the whole game. And I just like how we shared the ball. And we had 22 assists. We had people that had career nights. I mean, Abby had double-double. Bryce had 15 points, 8 assists, and no turnovers, and about 4 or 5 rebounds. We had 5 people in double figures. I mean, it was really a team win, and I'm just really proud of how we came out and how we just prevailed through all the ups and downs of the game.
The players mentioned the word fun as well. I mean, you guys, the Redbirds are, as they're rallying, you still lead 37 minutes and 10 seconds of this game, despite kind of how close it got at times. Just what does that say about this team that despite the adversity, as you mentioned, they were able to hold strong and get this win?
Well, I mean, it shows our maturity and our growth, throughout the course of the season. We're just really focused on, the bigger goal here, and we just want to continue to send a message that we're here to win championships. And you can't do it by, coming out lazy and lackadaisical and some things that we were doing in the past in a few games when we weren't respecting the front of the jersey. But I think that we've just grown. Honestly, this weekend, it was two really good teams. And these two teams are actually at the top, of the defensive categories in the Valley. And I think to score 90 and 87, I believe it was tonight, against two of the top defensive teams in the conference, that shows that, we're a high-powered offensive team. But again, defense is what really is making us, go like this, I think we need to continue to have defensive focus. And when we have those little droughts in the game where we were just not getting stops or hitting shots, things like that, we got to continue to have our bench get our team back into it, and maybe even if they sub in, pick up the energy. So that happened tonight. There was times where we had lineups out there and we were getting, threes, like number 3. She hit 6 threes on us. And people were getting away from us, and then we subbed somebody in and they just started to lock down, which generated our offense. So we have a really, deep team, pretty balanced team. So if somebody's not on, then somebody else can step up. But tonight, 5 people in double figures, and, the rebounding and everything that we did, going 100% from the free throw line, really helped us get over that hump.
Kind of mentioned that third quarter with a lot of stoppages that felt kind of odd. And just from watching the game, it really felt like it was a long, kind of methodical comeback that they had in the third quarter. It just took them a long time to kind of claw back into it. They got within 1, there was a timeout. After that timeout, you guys went on a 21-6 run that carried over to the beginning of the fourth quarter. And it seemed like that quick, it just kind of dashed all that work that they had put in the third quarter. What was your message during that timeout? And talk about that run that kind of put you guys back over the top pretty good.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was a 21-6 run. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. But in a timeout, I just wanted us to refocus. Honestly, I thought our energy dropped. We got a little bored, and that's where we've had some issues in the past. We got a little bored, and they started, their energy went up, and they started hitting shots, and we weren't sticking to the game plan. We were switching certain things, and we stopped doing that. We were playing off people that could shoot and running at people that can't. So we just needed to refocus and stick to the game plan, get our energy back on the defensive end of the ball, and then just get some easy buckets in transition. And once we started doing that, then everybody's energy was back into it. Now when we're running our sets, we started scoring out of our sets. But we had to get going. I think we just couldn't get in the flow when the game kept stopping, media timeout here, review this, do that, whatever it was. We just were not in a flow. Then we get to in the timeout, we get there, and everybody's kind of just trying to find a way to get their energy. And the best way to do that is get some stops, run on offense, and get the crowd into it, and just get ourselves going. So that's pretty much what that timeout was about. I just need to refocus them. Let's get back to what got us the lead.
The players also mentioned that SIU is that mental wake-up call they needed, and since then, now with the Bradley loss again today, you guys are now back, lone on top of the Valley. Just how important was it to see in just 2, sort of short weeks, this team respond so well to that defeat and now find themselves back in control of their own destiny?
Super important. I mean, if we didn't lose at SIU, I'm not sure we would be playing as well as we are now, because we were just kind of really complacent at that point, and we got punched in the mouth and didn't respond during the game, and we got a loss because of it. So everybody on this team wants to win. We want to be cutting down nets at the end of the season. So that was a wake up call. They started practicing harder and kind of started hearing the message a little bit more and have been consistent. So there's going to be times where we make mistakes in games and even in practice. But my thing is, how do you respond? How do we respond to the adversity? Basketball is going to be an up and down game. A lot of adversity, a lot of mistakes. But how do we respond? You're not going to be perfect. That's not what we're seeking to do. We just want to be able to bounce back and respond, punch back harder, So I think we've grown and we're doing that. I mean, we're not all the way there yet, but we're getting there. And obviously you want to be playing your best basketball pretty much right now in February. So I think we're pretty close to that. And I'm proud of them, just kind of buying in and just staying focused and sticking to the game plan and then bringing their energy and their intensity. Because that's really all I ask. I'm like, we know the scouting report. If you guys just come out and you play with that aggression and that intensity, and we do it together and share the ball and have each other's back on defense, and we're going to be a great team.
Coach, I know you're used to winters in Michigan. Are you a 6 more weeks of winter, or do you want 6 weeks of spring kind of person?
I like the winter here, to be honest. You know, you got some cold days, but it's a mild winter. You know, I don't really like the ice too much, but I like it here. Now, Michigan, it was freezing cold. I don't want that. But I like to be able to wear winter clothes for a little bit and then switch it up, get the sun out a little bit more in
Well,
spring.
it was 6 more weeks of spring morning today. The groundhog didn't see a shadow, so just so you know.
I know. It's all good.
This marks the halfway point of the conference season. You've seen all the teams. Just kind of what do you like from your group so far that you've seen in the first half that you're now carrying into the back end with the tournament, you know, staring you in the face almost already?
Yeah, I mean, we started off slow. Conference season, we started off slow. Again, we needed to mature. We needed to like really buy into what we were trying to do, and I think we've done that. So now we're hungry. You know, we're hungry, and we don't care who's in front of us. All I keep telling them is stay humble and hungry, first of all. Control our own destiny, second of all, and let the rest of the conference beat up on themselves. Because this conference is good, you know, and teams are playing really well. So I want them to beat up on each other. I don't want to be in that mix. Let's control our own destiny and win games and have fun while we do it.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I guess, you know, one of the, so obviously, you know, we kind of asked that same question to the players, and they know that target's on their back the second time around from all those teams. Are you looking far enough ahead to want that one line in Moline and that extra time off and all the different things that come into the tournament where you just, not only from an opponent seeding standpoint, but also just the timing of the games in that tournament is the most favorable if you're on the one line. Has that been something you guys have talked about at all?
No, we just talked about we want to be cutting down the net at the end of the season. So we want to win this. We want to win the regular season. We want to win the conference tournament. Those are our two goals. We win the regular season, you're going to be #1 seed in the conference tournament. So that's what our focus is, and you got to do it game by game. You know, you can't disrespect teams. You got to respect all, fear none, and just go at it. You got to be consistent. Great teams are consistent, and that's my biggest message to them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.